A jury was told that a woman who accused former NRL star Jarryd Hayne of sexual assault committed certain acts consistent with showing her non-consent during a brief encounter at her home. Crown Prosecutor John Sfinas addressed the jury in his closing remarks Thursday afternoon as the two-week NSW District Court trial enters its final phase. The 35-year-old dailymail winner pleaded not guilty twice to sexual assault without her consent. After the jury had heard more than 8 days of evidence, Mr. Hayne denies sexually assaulting women, alleging that they committed consensual sexual acts at her home in suburbs of Newcastle on night of NRL Grand Final in September 2018. The former football star is accused of taking off pants, causing cuts and severe bleeding, for allegedly engaging in oral and digital sexual acts on her without consent. In a statement to court, Crown prosecutors showed that she did not consent to words and actions of women who accused Hayne of sexual assault. Evidence culminated in the royal prosecution's closing presentations at the former NSW and Parramatta defenders' trial, which began Thursday afternoon. The woman and the Crown prosecution claimed that she did not allow sexual intercourse when they first met. At the Fletcher home she shared with her mother, while sending him obscene messages via social media. He said refused accept because he had taxi waiting in his front yard just outside his bedroom window and paid $550 ferry him from a dime party Sydney, where was booked a 10 midnight event. In his closing speech to the jury, Mr. Sfinas said that in terms of non-consent, it is divided into words and actions. He told the jury, "The Crown says that the complainant has spoken words and taken actions on this subject." The jury heard the woman lift her trousers as she resisted Mr. Hayne saying, "No," and "Stop," as he tried to take off his trousers. He also texted his friend in the hours following the alleged incident, saying, "I feel like I let this happen to me by not yelling at him. You might think that trying to lift your pants is trying to get away from someone. Being pushed and being pushed against," Sfinas said. "These are actions. So when I'm saying, I feel like I let this happen on my own, here." The Crown says there are some actions consistent with resisting. Former Parramatta star denied sexually assaulting her twice without her consent. Mr. Sfinas told the court that the woman had always been outspoken about her intentions with Mr. Hayne. Mr. Sfinas told jury at beginning of his speech that they were asked by Ms. Canine to view alleged victim's statement through a prism in which she adorned and lied to police. He told court, "It is the declaration of Crown that he did not lie. He did not exaggerate and embellish." Mr. Sfinas asked jury to accept woman's statement, saying he had been forthright about his original intentions when texting Mr. Hayne in weeks before alleged incident. He didn't shrink. He tried to make himself look better," she said. "Yes. He was sexually interested and sexually attractive. Not so desperate to meet her." The jury told. Woman was open to the possibility of having sex with Mr. Hayne, but that tempered when they noticed a taxi outside waiting for former NRL star. Mr. Sfinas said this was the decisive moment for the woman, as she felt it was just a distraction, considering that a taxi was waiting for him and rushing him. "He understands that he has no intention of staying too long," she said. The court heard that woman did not initially report the matter to police, for fear of what might happen to her. "Heard you right." The woman who accused Hayne felt absolutely crap when football star's taxi driver knocked on her door the night of alleged attack. The royal said it was compelling evidence, as she said she wasn't even sure what had happened to woman at the time of alleged incident. Mr. Sfinas said he was not sure the woman had been digitally accessed. It was at a time when he didn't want to go to the police, which significantly informs his authenticity, he said. "You may think that this behavior is unbecoming to someone who is prepared to lie, embellish, exaggerate or deceive. The court ruled that the taxi was the straw that broke the camel's back. At hearing, Mr. Sfinas read some of the woman's pre-recorded evidence to court. When asked how she felt after taxi driver knocked on the door, woman said, "He's such a jerk. I felt it was clear what she wanted. I felt sad and stupid for flirting with her initially," she said. "There was no way I could touch her. Angry. Was hurt. Sad. Thought in my mind that maybe one day this could turn into something. So when worked she just wanted. Felt like." The closing remarks will continue Friday before Judge Graham Turnbull.